Hello, everyone. Welcome, one and all, to the Court Martial Podcast match of the week for this week. First of all, I am your Colonial Champion, Sean McCarty, wearing my old high school football jersey. On the very last day, I'm going to have the long hair. That's right, folks. I'm getting it cut, and that's going to be new. So when you see me next week, I am going to have my hair cut. Hooray! But this isn't about me. This is about watching Kane versus Rob Van Dam from Summerslam 2003, the recently unmasked Kane, which was underwhelming, to be sure. I think that more people thought that it was going to be better than it was, and it just ended up not being I don't know, just a little bit of goo. What was it, like soot on the face and like the little tuft of hair that was Kane's, and they like freaked out like it was the end of time, and and yeah, that was WWE in a nutshell with Kane in 2000. But honestly, I feel like Kane did need to unmask at some point. I don't hate the idea. By the way, the match is now in the live chat in case you guys are going to check that out, but it's also in the description in case you're watching this post the match. And for some reason, sometimes my posts go through, sometimes they don't. I don't know what the situation with that is. I don't know. But in any case, Kane right now, he needed a boost. I think the thing with Katie Vick in 2002 really, I think, hurt him more than it helped him, especially because then he lost the Intercontinental belt, and then he just kind of floated around. He did some stuff with the Hurricane, and then that fizzled out, and then he just kind of floated around with Rob Van Dam for a little bit, and then that was it. And then he needed, I think that I don't disagree with the idea of him unmasking, but I think that the problem was the way that Kane was built as, and I use this in the most literal sense of WWE's format, the character of Kane was built so that seeing a regular guy's face was a little deflating. And that's no knock on Kane. It's like, what are you supposed to say? Oh, sorry, I wish you were uglier. Sorry, Glenn. It's like, no, I can't do that. It's just, it was hard because how are you supposed to pay off that in that kind of way? When you said this face is supposed to be disfigured and things like that. And I think that him, kind of like Ray, was one of those situations where you probably could have gotten away never unmasking him, but I like the idea of Kane being a human being at the end of all of it. And that was one of the things that I liked about, if you can glean anything that was decent about that feud with Triple H and Katie Vick, is that Kane appeared human. And I know that people don't like that because he's supposed to be the machine, but I like the idea, especially now because he had political aspirations and became Glenn Jacobs and yada, yada, gagoopy. And that's just the way that I think. But in this situation, it was just the timing of it and the way that Kane was being portrayed at this point. I think being unmasked was right, but I don't think this was exactly the motion. But this, of course, was his first full match because RVD was his partner at the time. He choked Van Dam the night he unmasked because he lost the match to unmask. And now this is this one-on-one match. Kane has turned heel, of course. I think he has already tried to set Jim Ross on fire. I think. But that might have been after this. But I'm almost positive that he has already tried to set JR on fire. Or let me rephrase that. Did set JR on fire. Right. Gotta remember that. So, here we go. By the way, before we get started, just want to let you know that in about an hour and a half is going to be a Royal Rumble review. Myself and Josh Ageddon and Grammar Notes Guy making his Persona debut on the Court Martial Podcast. So stay tuned for that. As well as stay tuned for next week because this Royal Rumble is a big milestone for the Court Martial Podcast because this is the 1-year anniversary of our reboot here at the Court Martial Podcast. Since our humble beginnings, now we have come here. We look pretty much the exact same, but we've got a co-host and we've got some better intros, so we at least got that going for us, right? But here we go. Now we're going to watch this match. Of course, you've got it all set and ready. We're starting at 0-0-0. Oh, now, excuse me for 1 second, because this is probably going to do a little bit of an odd cut. Yep, there we go. Because I've got to switch computers so I could see the full match. Of course, we are starting at 0-0-0. This is the WWE video, so I'm assuming that we are going to get at least 3 or 4 ads in this. So bear with us here. And, of course, I'm going to give you the counts as well as to where you can join in with us if you need to stop or if you get an ad or whatever the case may be. So here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Oh, we get intros today. Good for them. Now, Kane is an interesting individual. We have not. I was just looking over the past Superstar Spotlights. We have not had the pleasure of talking about Kane, but we're going to be doing that on another shot. We'll do that another time. Of course, we're going to have a very exciting match of the week, as well as not only match of the week, but we have a very exciting Superstar Spotlight for our anniversary show, which is not today, but next week. Great match of the week. Here comes Van Dam. This is so odd because they usually don't show the introductions here. I always liked Kane having the one contact that was messed up. That was at least something. But yeah, it was a tough situation for them. JR putting over Van Dam beautifully. They started this hot because this was a hot feud, no pun intended. Oh, clothesline. Tough clothesline. Verticality. When was the last time the phrase verticality was ever uttered on a wrestling program? Van Dam took a hell of a bump for what did not look that great. And this kind of looks like this was on at a time of the show when people were getting beverages and whatnot. Oh, what an uppercut. Of course, this was the same pay-per-view that had the Elimination Chamber that had Triple H beat Goldberg. Yeah, I wonder how far into the card this was. You have to look that up. See if I can remember what other matches were on this SummerSlam 2003 card. I'm pretty sure the Elimination Chamber closed the show. I think Brock faced somebody at this point. What was this, in August? So I'm pretty sure Brock was champion. I think heel with McMahon. I got to look this up when this is done. Oh, we got a ladder. That's right. No holds barred. Well, that woke the people up. So far, they were not caring about this match. Oh, what did they blur that out? Oh, that's lame. They blurred out the ladder shot to the face that Kane got. God, that can't be YouTube. That's got to be WWE self-censoring. Rolling Thunder with the ladder in the way. Oh no, he rolled it out just in time. That did not go as well as they wanted it to. Okay, King mentioning that JR's got to be cool, got to keep a cool head, tells me that he had already indeed been set on fire at this point. One thing I will say is I like Kane better without the when he's unmasked. I like him without the upper chest piece. I liked him better with just the waist pants and the barbed wire on his on his tights. Right, Bischoff's still champion at this point. Bischoff's still champion of general managing Raw, that is. Ha 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 ha. Caught myself. These fans are ambivalent at best right now. I think, honestly, Kane's face reveal really muted the way that this feud went. You know, a thought just occurred to me. I'm going to write it down. Damn. Yeah, it was a nice bump to jump out and hit that steel steps, but is this basically just a squash of Van Dam? Kane just waiting with that ladder is funny. Oh, and they censored that up too. What party poopers? WWE, you know. Look it up. We're going to get a ladder bump. I love that design. That fan's got that belt of the world heavyweight, or the undisputed championship. That is to this day my favorite design of the world championship, the WWE title. It is my favorite representation of what I believe championship glory is. I like the winged eagle and the one before that as well. You know, I liked those too. And then they just went full on toy, which is not ideal. Shut up. Kane doing the old Natalia trick, which is just to go, shut up! The fans. The classic heel tactic. Oh, God, kick to the chops. Van Dam was so underrated at this time. I mean, people really wanted him to be champion. But, this was Triple H time on Raw. And nobody going to stop Triple H time from happening, baby. Nobody stopped them Triple H's. Oh, we got an ad, but it was a print ad, so to speak. A pop up if you will. Oh, and there it goes, Rob Van Dam. If you did get a regular ad, we are coming back in 27. We are now at 8:30. In case you in there, Van Dam just got beamed on the ladder. Kane's going up to the top. Oh snap! It's gonna be big. People know it's gonna be big. Oh, and he missed it. That was the first thing. That might be the first thing that the fans actually had any sort of crowd reaction for. They are really not caring about this match at all, and I think they know it. Yeah, Kane's pulling out a DDT. When Kane is pulling out a DDT, Kane is doing anything to get that reaction. He's like, we got to amp this up a bit. Because they're just not going for it. Yeah, the fans are just silent. Sitting on their hands. This is crazy to think that these two would basically, in this modern era, would be bathroom break. They do with the Hurricane mask on. And for such a hot match, this match could use some juice, honestly. Drop toe hold got a bit of a reaction. But this is not the the reaction I was expecting from two guys this good. But again, that unmasking, I think, did a little bit of damage. And I think there could have been a way around it if you really wanted to. I'll explain it later. God, spot. Look at the face. That spot in the crowd was rather popular back in those days. Oh, the shot in the grapefruits, too. Look at that. Look at that old Asian guy. Oh, man. Having the time of his life. That dude must be 80. Got into the RVD. Okay, so they've gotten the people more into it now than they did before, but they were not into it at first, but I think now they're getting going here. But even still though. Sign guy. I love the time when WWE had fans of all ages and backgrounds instead of just internet neckbeards. Especially now. Spinning heel kick. Rolling Thunder, I'm guessing. Yeah. I always thought that the Rolling Thunder with the chair would definitely hurt Van Dam more than it would hurt Kane. Yeah. I always thought that Van Dam always got the worst end of that deal, which is it. Kane with the sitting up. Oh, well, okay. The Van Daminator into the face, or Van Terminator. I think that might have been the Van Daminator. I think he's going to go for the Van Terminator. Yep. Well, we're getting both. I don't know which one was which, but we're getting both. Sorry, I feel like I should know that, but coast to coast, this isn't Shane McMahon, but fans definitely are getting into this now. Oh, the benefits of flash photography. God, did they hype up a moment. Imagine taking a photo and then having Kane miss. Oh, tombstone into the steps. Oh, God. Yeah, that was nice. That better be the end of the match. Yeah, that's got to be the end of the match. Yeah, okay, all right, yeah. I was going to say, a tombstone pile driver into the steel steps. What else can you do? This is where wrestling now makes the big mistake. Because they do things like that and spots like that, and then they've got another 10 minutes of match to do. So it's like, what a way to ruin any move of that kind of magnitude doing anything. That looked devastating. The tombstone into the steps, and then the dragon pull-in pin. Thank you, that's it. Game over. Bob's your uncle. But this, I don't know. It's just, this was how you do that. If you're going to do that, that's how you do that. Unfortunately, what ends up happening with a lot of these modern day people is that they want to do these big high matches to get the reaction, but they don't pause enough to get the reaction. And because high spots happen so frequently now, something like that, that's just another, that could happen 2/3 of the way into the match. That could happen 1/3 of the way into the match with the way that modern wrestling is nowadays across the board. across the board. It's not even specific to one company or another. It's across the board. Because nobody wants to slow down and do any of the subtleties that made wrestling entertaining. That match, personally, was okay. It definitely picked up towards the end. But right at the beginning, it was just not going at all. I think Juice would have helped, but they did the best they could with that. I think that the end of that had to be the end of that because the way that they were going to push Kane, if you will. And moreover, not push Rob Van Dam. But as it were, here's my idea, right? Oh, yeah, while I'm doing this, I'm going to look up the SummerSlam card. SummerSlam 2003, so we know what came before that. So, because they had to have just been, oh, that's right, Sable was on the cover. That's right. All right, can we just have the list here? All right. Rey Mysterio defeated Shannon Moore for the Cruiserweight belt. La Resistance beat the Dudley Boys with Rob Conway and Spike Dudley. Undertaker defeated A-Train because he drained us all of energy. Undertaker defeated A-Train with Sable. Shane McMahon defeated Eric Bischoff in a Falls Count Anywhere match that went 10 minutes. Good God. Oh. Eddie Guerrero defeated Chris Benoit, Rhino, and Tajiri in a Fatal 4 for the United States belt in a 11-minute match, which was nice. But, of course, Kurt Angle beat Brock Lesnar by making him tap out. That happened right before Kane and Rob Van Dam. The crowd had to have been gassed. That's a rough spot. That's a rough position to be put in for Kane and Rob Van Dam. At least they put it near the end of the show, but what were they supposed to do? And then with the Elimination Chamber coming next, you just saw the big world title match. Yeah. Tough spot. Tough spot to be in for Kane and Van Dam, especially because Kurt and Brock, I mean, in 2003, they were on fire. They were literally on top of the world as far as, and I would say that was the best stuff, especially with Triple H winning that Elimination Chamber that he did not need to win. Let's be honest. This is 2003. I like Triple H a lot, but 2003 was Triple H at his absolute worst. The worst. And, you know, it's just a shame because it's, because there were a lot of people like Booker T who suffered because of it, but that's a story for another time. I said that I had an idea for Kane to not mask. I forgot that Bischoff and Evolution basically forced him to unmask. But what would be nice is for him to be like, okay, no, I'm not gonna unmask. I'm gonna walk out and I'm gonna be fired. Fine, right? And then Van Dam is going to fight Evolution or fight Bischoff for Evolution or whatever for the Yippee-Ki-Yo because Kane was my friend and blah blah blah. And then you could have Kane come back and beat up Rob Van Dam with the mask on still, but now working for Bischoff. And then I guess if you really wanted to, I don't want to corporatize him in order for that to be the first unmasking. I don't know. I'm backing out of this idea before it gets any worse. So we'll have to rethink that and how we would do that. But let's not go too into this here live. What we saw was actually not bad. It was not bad. Just a tough spot. Victim of its position on the card. More than anything else, a victim of its position on the card. You know, this could have probably done well opening the show. I mean, I guess, I don't know if I would have put Rey Mysterio. I don't know what other match you'd put there. Maybe Shane McMahon and Eric Bischoff goes number 7, and that match doesn't go 10 minutes. Maybe it goes like 5. And, you know, it's a very quick thing. And I know that's weird to have those two on that late in the show. But if you're looking for a cool down match and you want people to not react to stuff, that's a perfect thing to do it with. Not Kane and Van Dam, especially when you're trying to get Kane really intensely. Although, fairly, the Tombstone finish probably couldn't have gone before Kurt Angle and Lesnar because it probably would have diminished Kurt Angle and Lesnar just a little bit because that is a definitive finish is a tombstone on steps. And to say the only thing more intense than that would be an Elimination Chamber match. So maybe they know what they're doing. Maybe I don't. But that's the whole point of being a smart, isn't it? So with that said, that's it for this podcast. Not podcast match of the week. Stay tuned for the podcast in about an hour. I am your Colonial Champion, Sean McCarty, and I will see you